Hey everybody, welcome to the Yonkers Voice. Sitting here with Virginia Perez, 17th District. Virginia, we're very happy that to be sitting with you.
I'm happy you're here.
I understand you've passed some new legislation in
Yes.
the county of Westchester
Yes.
that has to do with synthetic marijuana.
Absolutely, yes.
And firstly, what passed? What was signed?
The banning of the sale and possession of synthetic drugs and synthetic drug substances. We were seeing out there in the news how there is such a rise in the use of drugs, especially synthetic drugs, and especially in our youth because it's so easy to get a hold of. Right now with synthetic drugs, they are advertising it as potpourri, incense, K2, spice, Scooby snacks. I mean, you name it. And they're even packaging this synthetic substances in colorful packages to make it look like candy, to make it look like things that are attractive to our kids, our young generation. And these are chemicals that perhaps by themselves alone will not completely harm someone, but when you use them and in order to change the chemical composition to get the effect of marijuana, that's when the true problem and danger comes in. Mm-hmm.
So you came together. Who started the bill?
So my colleagues
introduced the bill.
Exactly, my colleagues, David Tubiolo and John Testa, and then obviously, of us discussing the bill together, discussing it in committee, it got unanimous support from all 17 legislators, both Democrat and Republican, because it's a very good public safety legislation to stand behind and support. Obviously, it's for the benefit of our community, for the benefit of our youth, again, who are more susceptible into falling into the use of drugs. And then we have to understand that synthetic marijuana is not marijuana. Synthetic marijuana is plant-based, laced or covered in harmful chemicals and substances that are not meant for any type of human consumption.
And these were able, you could find these substances anywhere.
Bodegas, gas stations, exactly, and that's what makes it so appealing because the substances alone were not necessarily illegal or truly harmful until taken and combined in order to change their chemical composition.
And so you were able to work in a bipartisanship.
Exactly.
And Astorino signed this bill.
Yes, County Executive Astorino was very happy to sign this bill. We were all very happy to stand, behind this particular piece of legislation.
Mm-hmm. When does it actually go into effect?
We passed it. We passed it during the previous BOL meeting that we had. The legislation will be going into effect very soon because now we need to inform our vendors or bodega owners that holding these substances, exactly, holding these substances and selling these substances is against the law because they need time. They need to be able to. They need to be informed so that way they're not fined, unfairly. So they need to know that this stuff needs to be removed, and then inspections will come. Obviously, periodically.
They'll have to send it back to the merchant.
It needs to be disposed of one way or the other, but it does not need to be sold, and it cannot be sold. It will be illegal to sell them, and especially to our young kids. Yeah.
I've seen it a million times. Mm-hmm. You delineate a circumstance, or you think you put it to bed, and they come up with some other new concoction. What's to say that these companies can't repackage it, relabel it, and just throw an extra ingredient in it?
Well, the more creative they get, the more forceful we will get, actually, and we are here to enforce the law. So, you can't put it past them. The idea for this particular type of legislation and other public safety legislations is to protect our community, protect our residents. Now, you can't put it past, these people selling these things to make money, or you can't put it past somebody who is addicted to drugs to find a creative substitute to get that high that they're searching for. So we just have to be diligent. We just have to stay on top of these things, just like we caught on to what they were doing and changing the chemical components in order to get a high effect. We just have to stay on top of these things and amend the law accordingly.
Something you said earlier before we got on camera.
Mm-hmm.
The effect of this drug, folks, very important that if there is a 911 set of circumstances, they can't treat a synthetic drug. And that's part of that was part of the issue with this too, right?
Is very difficult. The consequences are very, very deadly. They want to get the effect. They want to mimic the effect of using marijuana, of using cocaine, and other drugs of that nature. Now, when they combine a number of harmful chemicals and have this toxic reaction in the nervous system, they come up with like superhuman strength. They become zombie-like. They harm themselves. They harm others, and a lot of the times they will not respond to treatment. So it is probably more harmful than any other drug out there. Because like I said, synthetic marijuana, it's not marijuana,
and it's inexpensive.
It's inexpensive, which is what is so appealing. It's inexpensive, and for the time being, it's being sold, so it's very easy to acquire. But that we're putting it into that.
It's important stuff for this for the community to know. I understand you're introducing other legislation as well. We have big TV shows like Street Outlaws, and I understand that there's a lot of drag racing going on.
Oh God, yes.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on as far as legislation is concerned. What you guys are looking to put together for drag racing.
That is another public safety legislation that has bipartisan support, actually. We were, sadly, because of the tragedy that happened to young Michael Nolan, we were lobbied by the Nolan family and to put forward a drag racing bill that will be named the Michael Nolan Law, in honor of Michael Nolan's memory.
And for those of our members that are just coming in to the Yonkers Voice, Michael Nolan was a Yonkers resident, was drafted into the Oakland Athletics as a pitcher. Very well known in the community, was murdered with a gunshot over a race.
Exactly.
So, some people might trivialize this bill because they don't understand how serious it is.
A young man.
This isn't just a couple guys racing up and down Central Avenue anymore, is it?
No. A young man's life was ended senselessly. And it's just tragic. So we have to go. It's so tragic that things like this happen, and then we take action. So we're very, very, very happy and very proud of the Nolan family for coming to us and asking us, to put forward this, because racing down Central Avenue or racing down on the Parkway or Highway, it's not an innocuous action. Actually, they can hurt innocent motorists, people traveling to or from work, people traveling with their families. But not only that, they can hurt themselves. Look at the young men who drove off on the exit 17 on the Sawmill River Parkway, drag racing. This is very dangerous, and this thing has become actually some sort of big money making type of crazy law-breaking industry, if you can put it that way, because how else can we call it? They have turned it into an entire production where they are betting thousands of dollars, that $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 for one race. And it's not just kids anymore. You have 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds just speeding down a highway or a stretch of road, looking to win that money. They have drones where they're recording the race. Yeah, they're making movies basically out of this stuff. It's insane.
And they're using the drones to see if there's any police activity.
Yes, that too. They're using the drones to see if there's any police activity nearby, any roadblocks or whatnot. I mean, if they can only put their creativity to good use, God knows what great things they can come up with. But they're putting it to this type of use, which is illegal. They can hurt someone, and then what comes of it as well. Like, look, because of that race, some kind of argument and altercation, something happening, and a young man's life was taken too soon. So
it's more than one.
It's more than one, exactly. So this particular piece of legislation, we're not only coming after people who are breaking the law by drag racing, it's everyone who is involved, everyone who is aiding and abetting in this type of behavior. The promoters, the people who are putting it out there on social media, bringing together what they call car meets. So they match up the cars and who's going to participate in said race. The people who are funding it, the people who are collecting funds, the people who are distributing funds. We're coming after everyone who is aiding and abetting in this behavior.
And that's countywide.
That would be countywide. That would protect all the municipalities that are under the county umbrella. So I know that the city of Yonkers was worked on their particular piece, but when that's another thing. When a municipality passes a certain piece of legislation, it covers that municipality. It doesn't mean that the rest of the county is covered. So we come in to make sure that the entire county is covered. Because then they realize that if they can't do it in Yonkers, they'll go to New Rochelle, they'll go to Mount Vernon, they'll come to White Plains. So we want to make sure that all of my municipalities are covered.
So you have some serious issues that you guys have actually been covering. Synthetic marijuana, very dangerous, folks. Before we came on camera, Virginia stated that 911 services may not be effective if a loved one, a friend, overdoses on the synthetic stuff. So
It's very dangerous.
Take
Very
it
dangerous.
seriously. It's not a joke. And drag racing becoming a very big industry. It's right here in our county. People are dying over it. And that's going. You propose that to be the Nolan Law, was it?
Michael Nolan Law. It will be
Nolan Law.
in honor of Michael Nolan. In honor of his memory. Yes. It's very difficult. I know better than pretty much a lot of people out there how hard it is. When you lose a loved one due to senseless violence, and it's something that you never get over. Your parents never get over. Your siblings never get over. So. If you get some kind of consolation, is knowing that you're doing something to honor your loved one's memory.
And of course, our hearts all go out to the Nolan family.
Absolutely.
Family. Last but not least, I'd like to touch base on a very sensitive, not a sensitive subject, but you have a sought out after seat.
My seat is very popular apparently because no other legislator gets primary the way I do on a constant basis. So, hey.
I happen to run into a candidate, London Reyes. Are you familiar with the name? You have an action pending against London or no?
The YPD is handling the matter. Whatever conclusion they come to, it'll be what YPD decides. So. In any case, an unfortunate incident took place. It should have never happened. No one should invade someone else's personal space, and a man should not be invading a woman's personal space or trying to intimidate a woman, especially someone, calling himself the king of Northern Hill. I mean, it's just, it should have never happened.
Where did you get that name?
So proclaimed. This is one thing here. This seat, I take this very, very seriously, and I cannot say this enough. My job, my constituents are my extended family. I mean, my extended family, my constituents came out, my community came out and supported my family and I during our greatest time of need was when we lost my brother. They came out, they helped, they participated with law enforcement, and they helped us catch my brother's murderers. So, as an eternal thank you, I serve, and I will serve until my community tells me, thank you, your debt has been repaid. I take my job so seriously, and I said this before, and I'll say it again. I take my job so seriously that I took a ginormous pay cut to do what I do today when I left the private sector, when I left my lucrative career in the hospitality industry. This is not a job to me. This is a mission. This is like my life, it's just I get great joy and pride every time I do something for my community. When I deliver public safety legislations like the ones we mentioned, for example, more legislations that are coming forward that are actually in the works at the law department and in the works coming forward to my committee because I chair the committee of legislation. When I sit down with my seniors and have dinner with them or breakfast or lunch with them, and I talk to them about what where are the gaps in their services, what's missing, what else can I do to make sure that I provide for them and continue to give them a good quality, affordable and good quality of life. It's just, when I'm talking to a single mother who wants to be able to, get quality and safe childcare, these are my extended family, so people think it's a game. People think, they're out there running around saying all kinds of rhetoric. And the community can see right through that. They can see right through that, So for anyone out there trying to defame me in some way which is ridiculous, saying all kinds of things that don't even make any kind of sense, and calling yourself the king, come on, you get elected to this position, not anointed.
Speaking of community, a lot of people are blogging and talking and saying that you're working more as a GOP or as a Republican. You're running on a Democratic line. What do you say to those people? I know that we've covered this before. What's your thought on that? What's your comment on that?
They don't get tired of lying. I mean, it's just My community knows the truth. They know the truth. You know, I am a Democrat. I am a strong, independent, fiscally conservative Democrat. And you have to be able to reach across the aisle in order to make things work. What good is it for my community to have a legislator who doesn't have the power, ability, or any type of, legislative authority to do things to deliver back to their community? They need somebody that is not afraid to reach across the aisle when the time calls for it in order to deliver for them. So if I cannot reach across the aisle and ask my colleagues, I'm supporting this particular type of legislation, I need the numbers, I need the support, I need the votes. What good is it? You need to be a legislator that refuses to reach across the aisle is an inactive legislator.
I understand that people are calling the opposition with threats and intimidation. What's that all about?
I have no clue. It is insane. It is insane that I know of. No one's calling anyone or intimidating anyone. I have absolutely. If anybody believes that they're being called or harassed or intimidated, by all means, call the cops, because I sure as heck don't condone that type of behavior. So for anybody who's out there feeling, any kind of way, and if it actually is true, call the cops.
Why would somebody make that sort of accusation, do you think?
They're going to throw everything out there and hope that something sticks. They've done it before, At this point, it's just... all I have to do is continue to concentrate on my hard work and track record and continue to deliver for my community. My community can see right through these tactics. I mean, it's not the first or the second or the third time. It's not, my first dog and pony show when it comes to all of this stuff. And at the end of the day, they're going to keep coming. That's for anybody to get up and want to run for public office and represent the community. By all means, please do. I highly recommend that everybody do that at least once in your entire life. It isn't easy, but it's very gratifying. It's very rewarding knowing the things that you can do, the great things that you can do. But please, by all means, know that you're doing it for the right reasons.
The Yonkers Voice has been following you, as we do every other candidate. Is there anything right now that you would say to the community? Or to the Yonkers Voice community?
Yeah, absolutely. My community, they know how to reach me. Please friend me on Facebook. If you see me out there on the streets, I'm knocking on doors all the time. Please reach out to me, speak to me, call me, 995-2846. Reach me at Perez at www.perez@westchesterlegislators.com. If you have any questions, email me, call me, ask me. By all means, do not listen to all of this over-processed tripe out there for people who don't know me, who have not had a sit down with me, who have not had a conversation with me. I guess people, it's very sad, but it's true. I guess that you're getting a call. I guess it's very easy to badmouth or hate someone that you don't know, and that's exactly the route that these people are taking. So for my community, please ask questions. Make sure you get true answers, legitimate answers, concrete answers. My opponent, just like every other opponent out there, I have yet to hear one true initiative, any true county initiative or any true county issue. Everything that's being thrown out there has nothing to do with me or county government. So all I have to do is continue to deliver, and I'm happy to do that on your behalf. You've elected me to be able to represent you and your interests, and that's exactly what I've been doing to the best of my ability, and I will continue to do it as long as you continue to need me. So thank you very much. I am very happy to serve you, and please reach out to me.
And I want to thank you for joining the Yonkers Voice. Hit us up on Facebook, Yonkers Voice, politics, etc. We have several different pages that are lots of fun. So for those of you who don't know, take a look for us, Yonkers Voice or YV, and hit us up on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, and
I'm looking forward to us sitting down again. There's so much we have to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you.